Let's talk about the Affidavit of Support. Hi, my name is Audra Doyle, and I'm the owner and attorney of Doyle Law here in Atlanta, Georgia. And today we're going to talk about this form, the Affidavit of Support. Sorry, it's backwards on my camera, but you can see that is the form. Affidavit of Support form I-864. And here are a few key takeaways that you need to think about when you are filing your family-based immigrant application. All right, the first thing to think about for the I-864 is that if you are sponsoring your family member for a green card, this form is going to be required. So what we do in our office is we always submit this form along with the green card application. So normally that would be a combination of several different documents. You're going to have the I-130, you're going to have the I-485 and all of those applications. Then at the end of the application, we also submit this form with supporting documents. The second thing to know about this form is that it is rather tricky. It's a little difficult to understand the questions and to fill them in properly, particularly when you are trying to fill in this section. This section is about your household size, and it can be very difficult to determine exactly what household size you have. It says do not count any member of your household more than once, but here is where it gets tricky. Number one, it says provide the number of people that you're sponsoring in this application. So you've got to put a 1 there. I'll actually fill it in with you so you can see what I'm talking about. Next, it says persons not sponsored in this affidavit. Fill this in for yourself. Now, if you are married, it says enter a 1 for your spouse. But wait a minute, you're also sponsoring your spouse. So if it's just the two of you in the household, it does ask for you to enter your spouse twice. So what we normally do is just leave this blank, or I do put a 1. It doesn't really make a difference. And then down at the bottom, I list in the proper household size. So for a 2-person household, I'm just going to make sure there is a 2 there. So that can be tricky. The other thing about household size is it says if you have other dependents. Now, if the dependent does not live with you, can change the answer on this question. So I strongly recommend that you read the I-864 instructions and decide who is your dependent and whether or not they need to be listed in your household size. The next issue that we come across is on the same page. Number 7, your annual income, your current annual income. And we do this one of 2 ways. I've seen it work both of these ways. Sometimes we look at the tax return for the previous year and we list that as their current income. Sometimes the client has had a job change. The income is different from last year's tax return, so we will list an updated number. Now that can trigger questions from immigration, but honestly, this form can be so complicated sometimes that you're going to get questions no matter what you do. So don't feel bad if you have received an RFE about this. Just go back, write it in the way that that particular officer expects to see it, and then you will be able to move forward with your case. Now, the last thing I want to show you on the form itself is this section right here. This is the last tricky section. It says, list your total income as reported on my federal income tax returns for the past 3 years. Now, it does not mean your W-2 income. This is talking about your 1040 form that was filed with the IRS. So don't look at your W-2, go look at your 1040. Down towards the bottom of the page, it will say this is your total income. Not adjusted gross income, not taxable income, your total income. Find that line, and that is the proper line to fill in here. What if you didn't file taxes for 1 year? Then you need to write the year in and write not filed, and provide an explanation of why you did not file your taxes for that year. The last thing that I am recommending to my clients is that instead of sending in the actual tax return with that 1040 and the W-2s that I just mentioned, immigration would prefer to see your tax transcript as of today. That's what they want to see. Also for the National Visa Center, they want to see the tax transcript. And so you can find this at irs.gov, and it says get my transcript. There's a link on that website where you can go find that information. So as you can see, Affidavit of Support can be quite a tricky document to fill in with all the correct answers and information. We do these all the time, and it does vary from officer to officer. I have my standard procedures that I do every single time, and then sometimes we will have one officer that says, oh, I would like to see something a little different. So don't be upset if that happens to you. It's not as clear as it could be on what exactly they're looking for. So don't feel upset. Just quickly respond with whatever questions they have. If you have any further questions or need help with this form, let me know. Also, don't forget to go check us out here on YouTube, of course. Please subscribe. And we're also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.